Hello again. Thank you very much for joining me here on Movie Ninja. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the new Netflix anime sci-fi action series, Super Crooks. Super Crooks focuses on the character Johnny Bolt and him just trying to get a little piece of the good life. That's it. Okay. Admittedly, okay. Not going to try to make him sound flawless as a character. He does use his powers over electricity to rob people. But that being said, he is as amiable of a character in this world setting as he possibly can be. Admittedly, he doesn't stand out as far as supervillains go. He doesn't really want to rule the world. He doesn't want to murder hundreds or thousands of people or enslave countries or anything like that. He just wants to use his powers to, once again, get a little bit of that high life. All right? So yes, maybe a little bit like misguided in the potential and possibilities of using his powers, but still, from where he began as a character to where we meet him in the first episode. In the first episode, minor spoiler, he is being released from Supermax prison. He's considered a low threat for the most part, so he got off on sort of like early release. So what does he do immediately? Immediately, like same day, as soon as he gets out, he goes on a heist with a group of buddies of his on the West Coast. And from there, he gets the attention of a former supervillain, like a legitimate supervillain. This world, in and of itself, has two powers, distinctly like... In the realm of superheroes, there are always like politics. You have your superheroes and you have your supervillains. He becomes the focus of Carmine, a former supervillain from way back in the day, and who was actually one of the founding members of what could be considered the powerhouse organized crime syndicate referred to as the Network. And the Network currently in the continuity of the series is being run by a Christopher Matz. I'll get to him a little bit later. But Carmine, who was formerly known as the Heat. Why? Because he brings the heat. He had furnace guns that he would use on various bank jobs or super heists, things like that. So Johnny Bolt gets the attention of Carmine and he says like, hey kid, I know, like, you just want a taste of the good life, but it's escaping you, you know? Hear me out. I've got a pitch. I want you to listen to it. Don't feel like you have to answer now, but I'm getting a crew together, and if we play our cards right, you know, we can see a profit margin of $50 million. So, you want to start off a life of luxury. You wanna go off into the sunset with your girlfriend Casey. Oh, by the way, Casey's also going to be in on this job, so hey, bonus there already. You know, you want to live the life that you want to live. All right, I completely like no strings attached. If you go on this job with us and it's successful, you can do whatever you want. All right, that's it. And we're doing this behind the network's back. So like, there's a bit more of an edge there because the network acts as a kind of very loose union of supervillainy. So let's say someone does a bank job or they rob a super tech laboratory or something like that. Whatever those supervillains get from the jobs that they pull off, the network gets a piece. And in exchange, they also guarantee a type of protection for their members and sort of political protection as well. Like, in other words, like, you know, if they get caught by the authorities or by superheroes, they'll get lesser sentences, you know, due to their ties and things like that. So it is very much the organized crime element. And Johnny Bolt, Carmine, and the crew decide, you know what? They don't have to know about this job. we can keep all the profits all to ourselves. That is the primary premise of this, is the heist. And the heist in and of itself as a type of subgenre of crime drama, sort of like films, or crime drama, like in any media, is underdogs surmounting almost impossible odds. And that's what keeps us engaged. That's what keeps us energized with this. And this entire 13-episode series is one heist job after another. But wait a second, Movie Ninja, you made it sound like it's only one. Okay, true. That, what I just described, is at the very heart of the series. But from the time that he gets out of prison to the very end of as little amount of spoilers as possible, to the very end of the season, it is one job after another. Okay, we did this. Now we have to do this. Now we have to get this from this place. Now we have to rob these folks. Okay, there is a constant escalation. And it's addictive. I binged watched this in one day. Granted that this is not like some other Netflix shows that usually run the gamut of half an hour to 40 or 50 minutes. It's about 20 minutes, a little bit more, just depending. But I really like this, like what you don't get in a lot of heist films that you actually get in this extended series. You get a lot of perspective from the characters. Like, who are they? Why are they doing what they're doing? Are they just bad people that are just being lazy and using their superpowers, because they don't want to do an honest day's work? Well, yes. Okay, like to a degree. To a degree. But what kind of criminals are they? Are they just like the scum of the earth and they're just going to use all their ill-gotten gains to make the world a worse off place? I was surprised. The more that I learned about the characters, the more that I learned about their motivations, And one of the things that, as villains go, as I said before, as villains go, they're pretty amiable. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the main big bad, the big boss in this series is Christopher Matz. He goes by a rather harsh moniker, and I usually try to keep the profanity low on this channel, so I'm not even his nom de guerre is rather harsh and blunt. So I'm actually going to refrain right now. What you need to know about Christopher Matz is that he is not a man to be crossed. He is not someone to be trifled with. This is someone who actually takes pride in how excruciating the type of excruciating punishment that he doles out to anyone who displeases him. He's not the cartoon supervillain that as soon as he walks into the room, just because someone, didn't place his paper right next to his coffee on his desk properly, then they have to be destroyed. No. It is, in terms of, as characters in The Godfather would say, it's just business. Just business. But he is undeniably a sadistic monster. And our crew, our team, Johnny Bolt, the Diesel brothers, his girlfriend slash fiance slash not fiance, illusionist, psychic Casey, TK, the telekinetic, the ghost, a man who can turn invisible and can phase through objects, and of course Carmine, aka the Heat, and a young up-and-comer called Forecast who can change the weather. This collective, this small ragtag collective, has to go up against not only the wealthiest supervillain in this particular universe, the most dangerous. So, please, it was surprisingly fun. Like I said, it's like a heist relay. You go from one heist, and then it's handed off to another heist, and then handed off to another heist, and then handed off to another heist. There's always something happening. But even with everything that's happening, we're not crowded, like, we don't have a plot that crowds out character. We have characters with super abilities, and for a lot of shows, that would be enough to just, like, showcase all of their superpowers 100% of the time on screen, but there is a lot of discovery for the audience as well. And like I said, as far as who these characters are, okay, yeah, they're super criminals, but sometimes we root for the rogue. Sometimes we root for someone who colors outside the lines or doesn't do things the right way, because that's part of the fun about that fantasy is like, yeah, what if? What if you led that kind of life? Well, I like to sleep easy at night, so it's just easier for me to live honestly. But you understand their motivations. You understand the motivations of the characters, why they're doing this, and how some think that this is the only way that they can kind of get ahead in this world because of certain obstacles built into the system inside the world that they live in. So, I mean, some of it is an act of desperation, some of it is thrill-seeking, some of it is a means to an end to maybe make the world a better place. Find out. Watch the show. Make your own decision there. But the animation is very sharp and very well done. The characterizations are also surprisingly well mapped out. You don't just get the outline of this is Johnny Bolt. He fires electricity, and that's all you need to know about him. No, there is greater depth to all of the characters, and we learn them. So, I mean, like, it's a very satisfying show. I highly recommend it. What about you guys? Have you seen the show yet? Do you have your own thoughts? Do you have a favorite character? If you had a superpower, let's say like one of the superpowers displayed in the series, which one would it be? You know? Thank you very much for joining me here on Movie Ninja, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.